Thank you for tuning into the Sistas Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Danny M. And today we're going to talk about it all. Politics, the presidential election, everything. Democrats versus Republican. Are you libertarian? Did you know that there are more than 2 people running for president at one point in time? So we have a lot of special guests today. We have Nnikey Tinney. She's an author and entrepreneur. Say hi to everyone.
Hello.
Can you tell everyone a little bit about you?
I'm a West Coast girl, born and raised in Cali, the Bay Area. Father was a Black Panther for a little stint. I lived in the South as well. I currently live in the South for the last year, a little over a year. Prior to that, I was in Las Vegas for about 11 years. Been to several different countries. Had a couple of spouses.
Okay.
Hey, people love to marry me. I've been proposed to at least a dozen times. But anyway, I digress. And I have 2 adult daughters, 22 and 26. And awesome. I'm just, trying to live my best life.
I know that's right. Okay, thank you so much, Miss Nnikey. Nnikey, am I pronouncing it correctly? Nnikey?
Yes.
Okay,
perfect.
All right. Our next special guest we have is Sean Dexter, the creator. Can you tell everyone who you are and give them a little info about your background?
Oh, okay. I'm Sean Dexter, the creator. I'm a musician here locally in Dallas, born and raised. Musician, caterer, and all-around creator. Do carpentry, just whatever. Not a Democrat or a Republican, but I got a lot to say about all of it. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Awesome. We're glad to have you. All right, so our next special guest is Dillenger. Can you let everybody know who you are? Tell them a little bit about you.
All right, my name is Dick Dillenger. I'm a host and part of Urchin Streets Radio, a podcast radio show. I've been doing it for a long time, and I used to be a host at Real Talk WS. So Urchin Streets came about, and me and DJ C4 got into it, and we're making it happen. So, a little background for myself. I'm a football fanatic, and I like sports. And what else? I like sports, and I'm just happy to be here.
Awesome. So today is a very unusual day for Sistas Talk. We have 3 special guests. I thought it was necessary because we're talking about a topic that definitely deserves some attention. There are a lot of, I don't even know how to even start this show out. There's just so much talk about this election that's coming up, and it snuck up on us. I don't know about you guys, but it's like it's right around the corner. We're already in September. You know what I mean? So a lot of people, I don't know anybody that's on this show right now, if you guys are planning to do early voting, but I know a lot of people that I know are planning to do that. And I just noticed that recently there's been this huge uproar with the mailing in the ballot. So I've been seeing a lot of post office men and women that are toting the mail, on the dolly in the malls, in the stores, in the neighborhoods. Have you guys seen that? Have you noticed that the mail is just slowing down? It's completely sluggish.
Well, I live out in the country in Forney, so the mail is always slow here. I'm always getting my mail at another neighbor's house. So it's normal to me. And the mail is the government. The government been moving slow for years, so I guess we kind of all expect it. So, hey.
Yeah.
Amazon got me spoiled, though, because anytime I'm trying to buy something and it says shipping is more than 2 days, it's a no. I'm going straight back. I'm going back to jail. I'm going to see what Jeff got for me.
Right.
I haven't noticed any real difference in the mail. I pretty much get it about the same amount of time that I have been getting it. And like Sean, I'm spoiled. Amazon's got me spoiled. I expect for things to get to me in 2 days because, I got Prime. So, and when it doesn't, it's like a week. What do you mean? That's too long for me. As far as the whole voting thing, I'm a non-voter. I exited the circus years ago and decided I no longer am going to participate in the circus. And as a disclosure to you two, I was a White House intern many moons ago, but I am nor Democrat or Republican or any of those things.
Let me watch what I say.
Oh yeah, so I almost forgot something. Good point, Nnikey. I wanted to make sure to let guys know, everyone that's listening right now, Sistas Talk is not affiliated with any opinions that are shared on today's show. Okay, so let me just put that out there. We talked about this before the show aired. So, people get upset, man. They latch on to those opinions. They latch on to their feelings. I feel like politics and emotions go hand in hand. It's like one and the same thing. So definitely we want to get out here. Go ahead.
It's like you talk about church, about religious, about. I don't know if somebody else gonna have an opinion about something.
Yes, exactly. So definitely we want guys to share their opinions that are watching this stream. Your opinions will go up on the screen. We'll make sure to read them. There are so many people that are extremely passionate about politics. Now, growing up, I know that my grandparents, they were Democratic. I remember that for sure. And I think a lot of older African Americans were. But now that I'm older and I'm an adult, I'm more of who's going to do right for the country. I don't know about you guys, but that's where my vote is going. If I feel like your ideas and ideologies are in alignment with what I believe are right and true for the people, then you get my vote. I don't know. How do you guys feel about that?
I feel the same way you do. I feel like if a person, whoever comes with a right policy or something that has to deal with what I'm going through as a person, you don't have my vote. But if I don't see this coming to light, it's like, did I waste my vote on you? You know what I'm saying? You get to think about this sometimes. Like, did I waste my vote on you just because you want to get in the office, that you exploit things about somebody or something? I want to know the whole truth about it. Don't give me I can't say what I want to say. I have, answer about everything. I want to know what's going on because I want to know what's going on in my community and what's going on. What can you do to help me out?
So
I like what you said.
Do you guys think that any European under this social construct is going to do anything for our community of any substance?
Me personally, I don't think
based upon their history and their track record.
I don't think it matters whether the
Sean, we can hardly hear you. Speak up into the mic. Yeah. But while he's doing that, there you go.
A lot better. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it matters whether you are European, black, white, Mexican. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we have to look at the history of politics in general. And they haven't solved not one problem for black people. They give us a pacifier, and it always has some backdoor trick attached to it. And they never target the stuff that we really want. So I'm kind of with Nnikey on this. Like, I'm in between. Whether it's Democrat or Republican, we're not going to get anything resolved through politics. And I think that's the issue and why we're stagnant. We're keep America at the end of the day is a barnyard bully. You see what I'm saying? And so if we continue to try to play their game, they're just going to continue to change the rules every time we get close to winning. You see what I'm saying? It's like if you look at the election now, it looks like a kindergarten fight. Like it looks like two kids arguing over who should get, the popsicle. You see what I mean? So it's like I don't think politics is going to get the job done for what we're trying to get accomplished. And until we realize that, and we keep knocking on it's the same proverbial door. It hasn't done anything in a century for us. And when it was still based on finances, and I think that's where we go wrong as a people. We look at racism and systematic racism emotionally, and the reality of it is when the white people took slaves off the boat and took black people off the boat and made them slaves, it was literally a financial move. It wasn't emotional to them. They were pretty much grabbing pets and putting them to work so they could make money. And at the end of the day, that's how we're going to have to get on the right track of fixing it. We're going to have to take the emotion of our hate for what happened to our people out of it and we're going to have to approach it from a business standpoint. And when we do that, then we could look at hitting their pockets, because these politics, they don't care. They really don't. Because you can't name one politician who's done something about the stuff that we really care about. The inequality in finance, the gentrification, redlining, maxing out the prison system with blacks and with blacks and Latino people. Like, they haven't give me a definite plan of action on what you're going to do to accomplish those things, and quit coming at me with, we're going to retrain the police and all of that type of shit. I don't want to hear it, because it's not working. You've been retraining them. You train them to hate blacks to start the police department. Now you're going to try to untrain them to fix the police department. Shit don't work like that.
Agreed. So that's what I was going to ask. I was going to say, do you think it's more, I wanted to ask you guys, everybody that's on the show today, do you think it's more of African Americans are always looking for, well, what are you going to do for us? What are you going to do for us? But it should be more of, what are we going to do for ourselves? You know what I mean? Like, and I don't want to come off as either blue or red. I'm saying from a logical standpoint, why is it that, and I've noticed this as an African American female, we're always asking, what are they going to do for us? But it's like, what kind of question is that? What are you going to do for yourself first? Are you doing what's necessary to make sure that you are financially and economically sound? Meaning you do understand how to let your money make money for itself. Do you understand those aspects? Have you researched them? Or are you constantly, as soon as you get money, you're spending it? It's going from your hand to the owner of another business. And it's not necessarily pouring back into the African American community. These are things that we can control ourselves. Anybody disagree? I mean,
well, I'm of a school of thought of Dr. Claude Anderson, and in his book, Power Economics, he lays out very specifically what needs to be done, and we're basically out of time. We're almost out of time, and he talks about how we shouldn't even be talking about voting, because that's menticide. That's mental masturbation. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't like getting my freak on and can't feel it. So if I'm gonna go there, it better be worth my time. And for us to be talking about participating in voting is just asinine to me, because we need to focus on an economic base first. And so he talks about establishing that economic base and voting as a group, as a block, because the only thing that they care about is that fiat currency. That's all that they care about. And so we should be focusing on establishing an economic base so that we can then buy the politicians, and we can then buy the judicial system, and so on and so forth. Just like the mafia, we can learn a lot from the way the mob runs their business.
That's interesting to say.
The mob in the mob community in their neighborhood, and just treat their people any kind of way, and there not be repercussions. That's why people don't mess with the mob. That's why they don't mess with the cartel, because you know if you do, it's going to be severe consequences. But they know there's no consequences to do anything to our people. That's why they come in and they do whatever they feel like doing to our people. And they know we're not going to do anything. They know we're going to do the same thing that we always do. Yell and scream, march and vote, protest, riot, rinse, repeat. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired of that. I'm over it. I'm done with that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
I like the way you pointed out the financial block, right? That's one of the reasons why, what's her name? Kamala Harris, she didn't win the presidential election. She had to drop out because she didn't have enough financial backing. Since people are like super excited that she's African American, but where was the money to fund her?
She's not African American.
No, I know. Yeah. We're gonna get on that too. But let me just put a pin in that. What America is calling the African American VP, that's the one reason why she could not continue to run in the presidential election, because people don't realize how much money it takes, right, to become a president. I mean, it's all about the money.
Well, but I mean, she's not African American. Okay, her father is Jamaican.
She's Indian and Jamaican.
Her mother is from India.
Yes, yes.
And she claims to be. Indian. She does not claim to be African American. Okay, so get that straight. But aside of that, because she is from the Bay Area, or she not technically from there because she grew up partly in Canada and then partly in the Bay Area, and then I think partly somewhere else. But at any rate, the damage that she did as a prosecutor in the Bay Area is very, very well known. And so that's why a lot of people in California in particular, they do not care for her, because she has done some major damage as prosecutor. She done locked more brothers up in California than the law allowed. So I'm not impressed with her at all. And then the stuff that Biden has done with that 94 crime bill has been extremely detrimental to me personally and my own personal family with various family members and things of that nature. But again, it doesn't really matter to me which one of them is in there. The way the system is set up, it wasn't designed for us to begin with. And so it's like trying to put lipstick on a pig. It's still a pig, you know, and we keep trying to dress it up when the whole thing, the whole foundation is faulty. It was faulty from the beginning. It was built on murder, rape, theft, and destruction. And so, you know, the U.S. is in the decline, is going to crash. The fiat currency has lost over 5% of its value. It's done. Stick a fork in it. It doesn't matter who gets in there. They can't change the trajectory of it. It's done. Everything that the United States has done, they've done exactly the same things that other empires have done that have fallen. And so they're basically just trying to get all of their pieces in place before they let the whole thing collapse. And I feel like we are the ones really, because we're the largest consumers in the world, melanated people, we are the ones that's really keeping this thing afloat.
Yeah.
You know, if we just stop and say, okay, you know what, we're done. We're not participating in this nonsense anymore. We're going to work on coming together as a community and growing our own food and, you know, becoming a self-sustaining group, then...
Hold on, let me interrupt you, Nika. We have James Terrell that says, I'll settle for the consequences. I'm not sure where he said that because I just saw the comment. And we also have Kathy Tatum who says, disclaimer, people's opinions is people's opinions, not everyone's opinions, right? But let me retract you real quick because you got super emotional when I said African-American Kamala Harris, as everyone in the media is referring to her as. Why do you think they're coining her as that when we all know the truth? We've all done our research and we see who her parents are. We know where she comes from. So why do you think?
Because they're trying to because they know we are soul people. You know, we provide the heartbeat to this corporation called the United States and to the world. Everybody emulates us. Everybody want to try to act like us and be us, but they don't really want to be us. Right? You know, and so they need our energy. That's what they want. They need our energy. And so they know people, if we get behind something, then people are going to follow.
Okay.
You know, that's just the way it's always been. So that's why they're trying to pull this, and it's laughable, but a lot of people have the attention span of a gnat, you know, so they forget. Just not too long ago, there's a recording of her with the Indian actress and comedian saying how she's Indian. You know, that's a recent recording. And there's another interview of her saying how she's not going to, if she, you know, gets into office, she's not going to do something just for Black people. These are her words, almost verbatim. So we tend to get caught up in the emotionalism and the symbolism of things, and I'm not impressed with the fact that she's a woman of color at all. That really doesn't matter. We've already seen what that gets us. We had Barack Obama in office for 8 years. What did that really get us? We're no better off now than we were, the majority of us, 10 years ago.
Right. Okay, so interesting. Nice little segue. I want to share my screen because I want to show you guys a video of an interview with Kamala Harris. And again, guys, for those who are on the team, I just want you guys to see this and you guys make your own decisions on what you feel about this. So give me just a moment. I'm going to share it. You probably hear it playing already, so give me just a second to pause it because this is so interesting to me, and I just want to get everybody's honest opinion about this. Just 1 second, and you guys let me know as soon as you can see it. I'm going to share the audio as well. All right, can you guys see that?
It's pulling up. Yeah.
Let me know if you can fully see it.
I can see it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm getting ready to press play, guys. Let me know if you can't hear it.
Or reparations for Black people. Well, listen, again, we had over 200 years of slavery. We had Jim Crow for almost a century. We had legalized discrimination, segregation, and now we have segregation still exists and is a barrier to progress. We have disparities around housing. We have disparities around education. We have disparities around income. And recognize that everybody did not start out on equal footing in this country. Have not. And so we have got to recognize that and do something about that and give folks a lift. That's, for example, I'm proposing the lift. Give people who are making $100,000 or less as a family a tax credit, which will benefit and uplift 60% of Black families who are in poverty.
So by default, it affects Black families, but there's not a particular policy for African Americans.
But no, if you look at the reality of who will benefit from certain policies, when you take into account that they're not starting at the same place and they're not starting on equal footing, it will directly benefit Black children, Black families, Black homeowners.
Okay, I'm gonna pause that. You guys can hear that, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it was
all right.
In and out, but yeah, I got the gist of what she said.
Okay, so you pretty much got this. Okay, good. So the point was the young interviewer asked Kamala Harris head on, what is your take? Do you believe that African Americans should receive reparations? Yes or no, basically. And she never answered the question.
Absolutely not.
Never answered the question.
Nope.
Sound like a politician to me.
And she basically, in a way, she did answer it by not really answering it directly because she went all around it. And when the interviewer asked her, well, what specific policy would you propose to directly help African Americans? Then she tried to say, well, a tax credit would specifically help, but they'll give something, they'll be real specific when it comes to the LGBTQ, soon to be P, with the plus sign on there.
Hopefully not the P. Yeah.
Because that word is heading. They don't have any problem with getting real specific with that group. Matter of fact, I looked on Biden's website, and he's got a whole list of stuff that he plans on doing for the whatever, alphabet soup.
LGBTQ, yeah.
Community. He's got a whole list of stuff on there that's very specific on what he plans to do for them. When Obama was in office, he did a whole lot for them, as well as gave additional millions of dollars to the Indians on the reservation, and he gave millions of dollars to the Ashkenazi, or however you say it, Jews.
Uh-huh.
But then when it came to us, oh, well, they don't need that. So it's like every time, no matter what color the person is that is in politics. When it comes to us, they're never willing to say, okay, this is specifically what what I want to do or plan to do for the Black community.
African American community, yeah. And James Terrell says it doesn't matter who's elected. They will never do anything for us until we do something for us. Stop depending on the Democratic president. Ain't no Kennedys left. Here's another comment, guys. I don't care what color she is. Both options to vote is sad. But we know what we're getting with Trump. Every politician changes after they take office to a degree. I agree with that. 100%. Actually.
I don't at all.
Why?
I'm tell you why. Because this is the same reason we got Trump. The big part of the reason we got Trump in office is because the Republicans refused to be objective because they just wanted somebody in the office that was on their side. And if we turn around and do the same thing with Kamala Harris and not be objective simply because we want somebody in there that is not Trump, we could be setting ourselves up for a bigger failure. Yeah, we know.
Okay, what's the other alternative then to that? Give us a solution.
That's the point. At this point, the alternative is failure on both sides. With Trump, you know how much failure. With Kamala Harris and Biden, you really don't know, but you know there's failure on both sides, and we have to prepare for it. Like they were saying earlier, at the end of the day, politics is not going to get accomplished what we want to get accomplished. These are the people who write the rules. They can easily write the rules that say we can stop asking, and they're in the process of doing that. So
okay, let me ask y'all something. Which branch of government actually writes the law? That actually implements the law?
Legislature.
Right,
Congress.
and that's right, and that is the whole. You guys just nailed it. I don't think that's what most people know in society. Exactly. Right. Keep going. I just wanted to drop
but at the end of the day, like I was stating earlier, for them this is all business. For us, it's emotional, and that's how they take Kamala Harris and put she's African American stamp on her. And I too, I don't care what color you are, because I just want someone who can get the job done. But history, not last year's election, not the last election or the election before that, every election has proven that we are not included in whatever the agenda is going to be to get this country where it's going to be. Period, point blank. You can't find not one that has done it. And again, even if they do take the opportunity to say, hey, we're going to do this, it's never to target something that specifically disparage Black people. It's going to be something that's blanketed, so they don't see, so it doesn't seem like they're paying any favoritism, so they don't lose money from their other lobbyists. It's all a money game. Abraham Lincoln didn't free the slaves because some moral issue. He freed them because the South was making too much money, which shows you there will go to no extent. They fought their own people to stop them from making more money to them. So if Blacks take off on our own and decide we're going to do our own thing and start making money, then what do you think they're going to do to us? We're going to have a clear plan that removes us slowly from their system and gets us strong on ours. But the issue with that is we don't want to do that. The minute you mention, hey, all Black women quit shopping at white beauty supply stores, shop at Black only beauty supply stores, pay a couple of dollars extra. Do that for 1 year and you take $4 billion from the hair industry. Then what does the hair industry have to do? They have to come back to the table with Black to say, hey, we mistreated you guys. Let us give you a fair shake in the industry. Now we got a foothold to get some people to do some distribution. Now we get, you see what I'm saying? This is how we're not going to be able to just jump in and change this overnight. And we're not going to be able to continue to argue with each other over who's the right politician. That's the dumbest fight in the world. We're over here arguing about who's the right politician, and they over there still robbing us blind. So who gives a shit who the right politician is? I want in my family. So if you ask me if I'm from Trump or Biden or what, I say that both of them go to hell. I want somebody in there that's gonna give us a definitive plan. Hey, we're not just gonna tell police officers they can't shoot you. We're gonna give them valid, viable consequences. You shoot someone unarmed with these particular parameters in play, you're going to the jail. You're going to the penitentiary. You're gonna have to fight with everyone else. Let us know how you're gonna give us prison reform. Because right now, you can't tell me that we have actual correctional facilities when all you see in them is punishment. There's no correction. Do you see what I'm saying? When you could take a person who sold a bag of weed and put them in prison for 20 years, how's that a correctional facility? That's a torture chamber.
Okay, we have a response. Who would you rather pick, the next Supreme Court judge that reflect voting right of community, Trump or Biden? Because next election, someone will be picking. The next comment is, I can't say. That's my mom.
That's my boy right there. That's my boy.
The fact that Biden is on the record saying that he did not want his children to be going to school with people that look like us, that we are animals, we are monkeys, that we can't be, our kids can't be saved, that we just need to lock them up and throw away the key. I mean, he is on the record many, many times saying this, and very proud of his 94 crime bill of 3 strikes and you're out, and locking our people up for being addicted to crack and stuff like that. We'd have a better chance of, if he was to get in, which he's not, but if he was to get elected, we would be more, I would be more worried, because he's proven that he's willing to lock us up and throw away the key.
Live it, love it. Sistas Talk.